Dominoes. I'm about to make them dollars fold. I'ma have them bitches running like the comic code. In my city, bullets flying, niggas dropping lows. They don't knock on doors, just look inside your home. So my llama close. If you get too close, this shit's adios. Had to let that nigga know. He was doing the most, trying to put my niggas on. All my niggas is broke. You think you broke, it's in your head. You feeling closest to the edge. Just keep your balance on the ledge. And if you fall and bust your head, it's nothing I can do. I know anything is possible. Fuck that, ain't nobody stopping you. Gotta be logical. Even if I could lose, I still gotta try, my nigga. I was gonna rob a dude when I was losing. I've been fooled by obstacles and I consume many rap beats and I produce. Gotta find my way, I'm trying to move. Why these motherfuckers wanna be kinda cool? I ain't fucking with you niggas, you comical. All I gotta do is give them a rhyme or two, saying phenomenal. Look at what time I do. Give them an opportunity to tie his shoes. I was tripping like book flights, no paradise, just parasites. Nigga been a slave all my life. Wonder why I know how to fight. Cause I had to fight for my rights. You know it's a true of between black and white. This is me in the top floor. These niggas gon' hate on my condo. I'm trying to win and I'm waiting like Rondo. Balling on niggas like I was LeBron. Squares in your circle, that's too many waffles. Money, that's God, alright. Making niggas sacrifices. Like all these niggas really die for like dominoes. I'm about to make them dollars fold. I'ma have them bitches running like the comic code. In my city, bullets flying, niggas dropping lows. They don't knock on doors, they just look inside your home. So my llama close. If you get too close, bitches adios. Had to let that nigga know. He was doing the most, trying to put my niggas on. All my niggas is broke. Bitch, trying to travel 1,000 out the miles. All while compiling files, miles been out of bounds. Bounce between cutthroat regimes, just below supreme. Raw life defining trials. I've been hiding out in the city. Who in the boxes fall with me? There's too many shots in your block involving these super killer cops to be bombing all the deep bombing overseas. Now I done found a proper route till I make a meal from the lines from out my mouth. Since a frightful child while the toxic niggas finna boogie down low rounds and countless clockless. Obnoxious, a body competition. I am highly opposite of fully auto rocket power style. This the tail of a flow so corrupt it'll leave Almighty God devoured. Now my niggas, miss annual purge. I'm a fan of you heard for digging your head up on a mantle to serve them. I was sure ran with the tramp for you off camera was on stand just to check for the neck damage occurred. Better blend to the spurs from the game, try to end me first. Lucifer got my soul, now a dead man will emerge. Bitch, I'm a nose. I'm about to make them dollars fold. I'ma have them bitches running like the comic code. In my city, bullets flying, niggas dropping lows. They don't knock on doors, they just look inside your home. So my llama close. If you get too close, bitches adios. Had to let that nigga know. He was doing the most, trying to put my niggas on. All my niggas is broke. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page on Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow the Queen on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. And please make sure that you head on over to TikTok. All right. And subscribe to my new TikTok channel, Dr. A. Shakur. All right, Dr. A. Shakur. So with that all being said, let's see who we have in here. Okay, Jag the Diva, Mark Ayers from the UK. All right, Lillian, Mr. Hotel, Tony Curtis, Queen Sound, Anne Marie, Ashley's in the house, Patriot 420. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. Christine, I see you, beloved. I see you, Queen Shay, Miho Black, just us, I'm Black. Nathalie's in the house, Ray Williams, Mr. Mercedes. All right, Juju, I see you. Okay, Silent D, Desmond, Eileen, Queenie Moni Huey. All right, shout out to the mods in the chat. Cherie Reed. Okay. Hundia, I see you, beloved. Terry Hinton, Prosevi. Okay. Let's get to it. Yusuf, I see you, beloved. And so with that all being said, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb real quick. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb and pull up my chat on my phone also, in case this one freezes. Hey, Kenyatta. Okay, Mr. Mystical Black Realms in the house. Okay, and so now check this out. And so I have many things to discuss. So I'm going to take my time today because y'all know this morning I messed around and forgot all about Hunter Biden. And y'all know how I love to go in on him and his father. So yes, I forgot to talk about Hunter Biden this morning, sadly. But it's okay because we're going to talk about him now. That's what we're going to do. Thank you, Juju said, Queen, look amazing. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so now let's get down with the get down and get into this first story. Here's the first thing I want to talk about. So there are two Black men, two comedians who are suing the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Now I want y'all to pay attention because they obviously have some shady goings on. And y'all remember that I told you numerous of times about what they have called civil asset forfeiture, how they can snatch up your cash, they can take your money, and you don't even have to be charged with the crime. And then you have to spend fees on attorneys to fight to get your own money back when you didn't even do anything wrong. Now, clearly, to me, that's nothing but legal highway robbery. That's what I view it as. But so now it looks like they've upped the ante because listen to this. Top Black comedians sue Atlanta airport over racist searches, which see passengers frisked for drugs and cash while on jet bridge waiting to board their flights. Can you imagine being there about to board your flight and then somebody want to come over and start searching you and then you haven't done anything wrong, you don't have any drugs on you or anything, but you have cash on you and they take all your cash? Say what now? And then they tell you after they've taken your cash, oh, you can go ahead on. We haven't found anything yet, but we're still going to be trying to figure it all out. And while we do, we're going to keep this money. This is what's going on. Pay attention. So let's talk about it. This happened in Clayton County. Eric Andre and Clayton English claimed they were both racially profiled at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Now, lawyers for the men filed a lawsuit Tuesday in federal court in Atlanta, saying that they were illegally stopped by Clayton County police. They said the officers singled them out during separate stops, roughly 6 months apart, because they were Black, and then grilled them about drugs. Officers blocked them as they entered the jet bridge and asked if they were carrying illegal drugs. One of them says, I felt completely powerless. I felt violated. I felt concerned. This is what English said. Now, the police department calls the stops consensual encounters and says they're random. Oh, yeah, I bet they are random. Being perpetuated purposely upon random Black folk, for the most part, disproportionately, I'm sure. All right. And consensual. These people said, okay, you can go ahead and just, disrupt my entire day, just ruin my energy. And you can just go through my bags and you can just check my briefcase and you can just go in my suit pocket. You can do all that. That's what they told them. I'm sure that isn't what they told them, talking about consensual. You see how these devils do lie. So anyway, I'm going to show you footage of the press conference that they held, because this is also egregious and clearly nefarious, all right? I want you to pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Now, y'all know they have the Queen Shadow Band, okay? They got Miss Shadow Band, y'all. Y'all know how they do the Queen. Pay attention. So with that all being said, let's get into it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Barry Friedman. That's Friedman. I'm a law professor at New York University School of Law, and I'm the faculty director of the Policing Project. The Policing Project mission is to work with all stakeholders to ensure that policing is democratically accountable, is racially just, and is transparent. I'm here with two very fine Atlanta lawyers, Allegra Lawrence Hardy and from Lawrence Bundy, and Rick Dean from Jones Day. You'll be hearing from them in just a moment. We are, all of us together, representing Clayton English and Eric Andre, who will also be speaking in just a moment. I'd appreciate it if we could get through our remarks, and then unfortunately Clayton's got to run off, but the rest of us will be here to answer any questions that you have. So we are filing suit on behalf of Mr. English and Mr. Andre against Clayton County, Georgia. The Clayton County Police Department, along sometimes with the Clayton County...
Oh, sorry, beloveds. Hold on. I accidentally clicked off. Hold on just a second. Let me start it back up. And I'm actually going to fast forward this because it's like 17 minutes. That's what I was trying to do when I accidentally clicked off of it. So let me pull it back up. And we're going to fast forward just a little bit. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, here we go.
Random stop, that's why he was stopped. And it turns out that the odds that you would get 211 out of 378 people stopped who are black are, this is almost too remarkable for me to say, significantly less than 1 in 100 trillion. Obviously what was happening on that jet bridge is the Clayton County Police Department was racially profiling individuals, pulling them aside, requesting their identification, and then asking them questions about drug use and drug possession. Just one last word for me. The Policing Project is filing this suit in particular because we have a great concern about police acting when there's no policy in place, particularly democratically accountable policy that guides the discretion of police officers. When there's undue discretion, you get what you have here, which is severe racial discrimination, and that's...
I felt violated. I felt cornered. I felt like I couldn't, continue to get on the plane. I felt like I had to comply if I wanted everything to go smoothly. And while all this happened, passengers continue to board the plane. And it's confusing because I wasn't sure what the issue was. What did I do wrong? And once they actually gave my ticket back and my ID, I was able to get on the plane. But for the next 3.5 hours, I was, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm gonna get arrested when I land. What did I do wrong? Is this something that normally happens to people? But because of the situation and the circumstance, I didn't even ask anybody that worked for Delta or say anything about it. And once I saw Eric Andre's tweet about the situation that happened to him, it immediately reminded me of my same situation. We're fellow comedians. I reached out to him and I told him the same thing had happened to me. And I think we're here because a lot of people have probably had this happen to them and feel like there's no course of action for them to take, or they just have to let things happen to them. And I think we're here to speak up for those people.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there, beloveds, because like I said, that's like a 17-minute long clip. But here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say about that. First of all, what are the chances? Now, out of 378 stops at that airport, 278, isn't that what the attorney said? 278 of them were black. Isn't that what he said? Isn't that what he said? So you mean to tell me that more than half, almost maybe around 70 to 75% of the people they stopped were black? Of course, that's racial profiling. But let me give you all some lifelines right here. Let me give you all some lifelines. The young man said that, he clearly didn't want to be searched, but he was fearful that he would be arrested or it would just disrupt things more so. He didn't feel comfortable boarding the flight if they, if he didn't consent or whatever, if he didn't just let them go ahead and do what they wanted to do. Let me tell you something. If ever something like that should happen to you, and you know that you have not done anything wrong. Now, some of y'all carrying drugs, honey, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm talking about those of you, if you know that you have not done anything wrong and they want to search your belongings, you tell them that you don't consent to a search. You tell them that. Now, of course, they may search you anyway, but you say that so that later they cannot say it was consensual, because it absolutely should not be consensual when they're violating your rights. Never give someone permission to violate your rights. Don't do it. Don't ever give someone permission, consent to violate your rights. Just don't do it. All right? Just don't do it. And then if they press the issue, you can say this: I do not wish for you to search my belongings. I absolutely do not consent. But due to the fact that you are detaining me, right? And due to the fact that I am under duress, I feel that I have no say so. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Don't tell them, yes, go ahead. Oh, it's okay. Don't tell them any of that. Because even if you don't have any drugs in there and you know you don't have any drugs in there, they can take your cash like they did them. Okay. And then you have to pay attorney's fees and all that to get it back. And then they walk up into court talking about you consented for them to search. Don't have a consent for someone to violate your rights. All right. Remember that. Remember that. Because that's what I'm never going to do. If you got to lock me up, you lock me up. Because I keep bail money all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. That's what I do. So with that all being said, these people are a mess. And this is also egregious. It's also egregious. So let me tell you another lifeline too while I'm at it. So you know how I've told you about civil asset forfeiture and how they can just stop you if you're traveling to and fro, you know, in your vehicle, whatever, driving from one state to another, and you may have money on you that you need to spend, you know, just to get where you're going or whatever. And then how they can stop you and seize that cash. Let me tell you something you may want to consider. First of all, don't travel with cash. It's never wise, in my opinion, to travel with large amounts of cash. Someone could rob you. I mean, we know the police can rob you legally. That's what it is. It's legal robbery. That's what it is. But some thug could also rob you. So you should never be carrying large amounts of cash. That's what you just should not be doing. Okay? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And in some states, and I believe Oklahoma is one, where they can stop you and you may not have any cash, but they have a scanner and they can scan your debit card. I want y'all to pay attention. They have a scanner that the police in Oklahoma use. I don't know what other states, I haven't researched it yet, but they have a scanner where they can actually scan your debit card and see how much money is in your bank account. Now, if they assume or just want to say that they think there's something fraudulent, something, you know, the money was illegally obtained, they can just say that they've done it before. And then they can put a freeze on your bank account. They can do all sorts of things. They can take your money that's in the bank just like they could that's in your car in certain states where they have those scanners. And the people who made the scanner, who the company who made those scanners, they get like 7% of the proceeds from whatever the police confiscate. So with that all being said, here's what you do in those cases. Now, if you're traveling through any of those states, you know, where you may have your debit card on you or whatever, what I would advise you to do. Now, this is just what I'm thinking. If anything, I would send my debit card ahead of myself. Or my credit card. I would send it ahead of myself. Say, for example, if I'm going to visit my brother in another state, right? My brother's in Kentucky. So if I'm going to visit my brother, I could send him my debit card before I get there. And I could just keep enough money on me to get to and fro, right? A little extra, because you may need a little extra. But I'm not going to be carrying no large sums of money. And if I'm going through one of those states like Oklahoma, which I wouldn't be, but if I was, I would not be carrying my debit card. You're not going to scan jack. That's what you're not going to scan. Because before I let you scan it, you see, I will send it ahead of myself, have it sent overnight. Now, that's what I want y'all to think about. Just do those things. Just do those things. All right? That's what you can do. Send it overnight to wherever you're going with somebody you can trust, or whatever, and leave it at that. Don't let them catch you slipping, because the last thing that you want to do is have them confiscate your personal belongings when you didn't do anything wrong, and then you have to fight to get it back. And here's the thing. Many people don't have the money to fight to get their belongings back. What if they take $5,000 and you're not rich? That's a lot of money for you. I'm saying hypothetically. And so let's just say that you happen to have $5,000 on you. Maybe you got an income tax check or whatever, and you got $5,000 on you, and you're going out of town to the casino, and they stop you, and they take that money and say, well, this looks like you're doing something illegal. You don't have another $5,000 to fight to get that $5,000 back, and really it doesn't even make sense. See, that's what they bank on. So now they just get to keep your money, even though you committed no crime. And this is what happens to people time and time again. People don't have the money to fight to get their money back. Or in some cases, they do have the money to fight, but the amount that they'll spend fighting it is going to exceed or equal the money that was confiscated. This is what they do. So they have your back against the wall. They have you in a catch-22. So you have to outsmart them. You have to outthink them. That's what you have to do. So somebody said that's a wig move. Y'all need to stop. Okay. So now with that all being said, let's move on to the next story. It's also nefarious. So I want to promote a Reparations March that is going to be held on October the 15th, Saturday at 1 p.m. at the St. Louis Public Library, Carpenter Branch. Now let me pull up the flyer so you all can see who's having it. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. Okay, y'all see here? Y'all know who that is, right? Y'all remember him? Now that's a real revolutionary. You see, that's a real revolutionary. And he has been targeted by the government. Now, he didn't have people showing up to his house with clipboards, standing outside looking like the, he didn't have people showing up with clipboards, right? Standing outside looking like they were Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Now, I'm not poking fun of Jehovah's Witnesses, but we all know that they come to your doors, right? Try to sign you up and give you the watchtower and all that. And so that's what it looked like when those people showed up at Bussy Rick's house. Possible Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Or the Mormons, perhaps, trying to recruit. All right? Or maybe they work for an escort service. I don't know. But either way, they didn't look like feds to me. And so pay attention, because here's a clip where I reported on the Uhuru Socialist Party a few months ago. Hold on. Let me pull up this receipt. Everyone, please like and share.
In the house.
In the house.
In the house. So when that door, because when I walked out of the door, the door was open. Let me just say that. Go
also,
ahead.
they would, damage the door, to get in the other apartment next to us. So, if we hadn't opened the door, everything would have been, slammed.
The door, you can see the window. The window was broken there. They put boarded up that door there. But the reality is this. Even if they had a legitimate warrant, like they said, all they got to do is knock on the door. What is a flash bomb? What is being out here terrorizing the entire community? Something about a search warrant. It had nothing to do with a search warrant. It had to do with this game that they are playing to keep black people oppressed, and this ideological, this propaganda war that they engaged in with Russia. And we're not going to be a part of it, and they're not going to keep us from fighting for our freedom. We got a black community conference.
Coming down the stairs here where we are now.
In the house.
Now I want you to know that, yes, they were harassing them. Absolutely. Okay. So with that all being said, you see, these are the people that they target. And when they target you, they don't come to your front door with clipboards. And so you're going to tell me that a man who's a millionaire, and I'm talking about Bussy Reek, he only has a $99 Ring door cam like I have? What now? And I'm not rich. I'm not a millionaire. All right. And so I work a regular job. And so with that all being said, he has the same type of surveillance that I have. You mean to tell me that he's so America's most wanted as he wants us to think? That he got all these so-called tethers, he got all these so-called feds and all these wanton supremacists after him, chasing him, coming up on him. But yet he drops his location when he's online, when he's in Atlanta and anywhere else that he goes. He drops his location all the time. Does that sound like a person who's on the run from all these people chasing after him? And then the only surveillance that he has is a Ring door cam, because that's all he showed when those two men dressed in black with clipboards coming to sign him up for Watchtower and to go to the Kingdom Hall showed up at his door. Pay attention. So here's the thing. I have a friend, my friend who owns the water company. My friend has immaculate security and surveillance all around. When you walk up on the property, it announces that somebody's on the property, not a $99 Ring door cam. Okay? Miss me with it. All right? But hold on. And here's another thing that I just have to say while I'm on the topic of Bussy Reek. For those of you who continue to insist, that FBA is a lineage. I'm here to tell you it is not. You cannot trademark a lineage. Now, someone brought the argument to Bussy Reek in a Twitter space, I do believe, or I was told. And he quickly dismissed it and said, African American is trademarked. Well, that's a lie. You see, his minions who follow him so foolishly off the cliff where they're headed, they don't do their research. You see, if they did, they would know that no legit lineage could ever be trademarked by anyone. That's what you can't do. So please stop with the foolishness, people. It's time to wake up. Listen, all of these other people are on the battlefield. Why, oh, why must we be on the playground laughing at Bucci Bear, laughing at Michi Munchies and all this foolishness? Saturday Night Live activism at its finest, no less. Why do we have time for this? We don't have time for it. But hold on, because I must let you know that the whole argument that Bussy Reek thought he won when he said to them in that space, African American is trademarked too. No, it's not. And if only they done just a little bit of research, they could have killed his old argument right there. You see, that's what I do to Bussy Reek. Bussy Reek, I know you see me. You keep acting like you don't know who I am. But you do that because you know that I kill your arguments. You would never dare debate me on your best day and my worst. You know you would not. Okay? You just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. And then some of his minions, one of his minions was in my comment section talking about, I think she wants Tariq's attention. Honey, beloved, I don't want Tariq delete. I don't want his attention. In fact, I already have it. He's used my talking points numerous of times. I already have his attention. He just doesn't want y'all to know, because then he might have to explain why he won't ever address the things that I'm saying. All right? Why he doesn't start cracking jokes on me and make a Bucci Bear about the queen, you see. Well, that's likely because he knows that I have information on him, and he also knows that I can go hard in the paint when it comes to roasting too. So sit down somewhere, Bussy Reek. But hold on, let me pull up this receipt. Let me pull up this receipt. And I want y'all to listen to this. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to show this on the screen. I'm sure they won't mind, because I want y'all to see this. I need you all to see it with your own too. Great.
Peace, my name is Haven, but listen, today I gotta do this video. This video is about Tariq Nasheed battling with somebody on Twitter because of the trademark African American. Because somebody brought up that FBA's trademark and he brought up African American as trademark too. And then the person switched the subject because they guessed they couldn't defeat Tariq in this battle, and he declared victory, and a bunch of the FBA goofballs declared victory. But now it's my turn to bring some correction, because you know I'm the author of correction. Well, anyway, family, make sure you like this video, share this video, make sure you comment on the video, watch it to the end, subscribe to my channel, and donate to me if you can. Now, is Tariq right? He is right. But let's get into this, because we're going to go to the trademark website. African American. That's the word, but that's not what's actually trademarked. It's African American written this way with this design that is trademarked. This person has no ownership over the word African American. It's African American with this design. This person could not come to me if I had I put African American on a t-shirt and hit me with a cease and desist order. They could not do that. I don't know why people didn't just read and they would have seen that that's the case. Well, anyway, let's go to Tariq's latest trademark for FBA, Foundational Black American. What does it say here? Disclaimer. No claim is made to the exclusive right to use Black Americans apart from the mark as shown. Why did Tariq have to do that? Because like I told you before, you cannot trademark an actual quote-unquote lineage. You can't trademark an ethnicity. You can't trademark a nationality. So he could not trademark Black American. That's why I said he came up with Foundational Black American, because he could trademark it and he can own it. And as you can see right here, Tariq acknowledged himself that he is not laying any exclusive right to Black American. Why? Because if he had said he was, that they would have clipped this, because they'd have been like, no, you can't do that because that's actually a people and you can't trademark a people. But you can trademark Foundational Black Americans. So this is even Tariq right here acknowledging that Foundational Black American is a group. It's a group. Because if it's not a group, you couldn't get the trademark through. And that's why you had to even let it be known that, listen, I'm not making no exclusive ownership to just Black American. I'm only talking about Foundational Black American. And as you can see, the trademark is for the word. Not no design, not no stylized version, just the phrase itself. Because that's the name of his group. See, I win again. And family, this is why it's so important to support me. And this is why it's so important to get your information from me. Because I am the source of all the information that you see that.
Now, so with that all being said, shout out to Javon Bullets Awaricus for that receipt. All right. So let the record reflect. See, I try to tell y'all, but some of y'all don't listen. The reason he could trademark that Foundational Black American is because it does not exist. It does not exist. Okay? And calling yourself that is not the way to get reparations. I told you all this. But he said, don't listen to people who talk about Black's Law Dictionary and all these things and how Black has no standing in law. He said, don't listen to those people who talk about these things. And he always says that people are haters and agents. Why is it that everyone who says anything critical of him always has to be an agent or a hater? But when he says things about people, he's not a hater. Make it all make sense, Bussy Reek. Tariq O Drama. That's his name, Tariq O Drama. Okay? Obama's play cousin. So he is. So, but anyway, not only that, hold on, I'm not even done. I am not even done. Because I'm about to drop a couple of more receipts. Because the truth needs to be told, and I'm here to tell it, so pay attention. Pay attention. Now I'm about to hit y'all with a fat out in just a minute. First and foremost, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this.
Of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. La paz sea con ustedes. It's an honor to be here this afternoon with our black brothers and sisters, with our Aboriginal brothers and sisters, with our brothers and sisters from Latin America, the Caribbean, and all over Turtle Island. It is an honor to be here, not just so that we could be introduced to one another, but so we can be reunited as we were in the beginning. We are one people when we are united. But what has been missing is we have been deprived of that knowledge which will allow us to see one another as we are and see ourselves as we are. So today is not a day where we're being introduced to one another. Today is the day that the family is coming back together with one cry and one purpose. And that is for justice or else. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That was Brother Abel Muhammad. Shout out to Brother Abel Muhammad. Okay, a student minister of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and a member of the Nation of Islam. I'll say what now? Minions? What do the Nasheedians have to say about that? What do the Nasheedians have to say about that? What do they have to say? You see, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, whom I follow the teachings of, as well as the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I go by what the minister does and says. That's what I do. Not some grifter who sows nothing but seeds of division, who upholds a system of wanton supremacy. All right, that's what I don't do. But hold on, I'm not done yet. Pay attention. This beautiful sister is also a follower of the minister.
Thank him for being the reason, by Allah's permission, that I am here today, alive and well, and that I feel highly favored by Allah because I still have an opportunity to work out my own soul salvation doing the resurrection work. So we are taught that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So my testimony of how I came to believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive will begin and end with the fact that I am present here today and that I'm alive today. My very life, my very presence bears witness in the power of the living word and in the knowledge and conviction that my Redeemer liveth. I first heard the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when I was 20 years old and I was living in Hawaii. And at that time, in the minister's teaching of this word and in his wisdom, I, who was very lost, I was searching for something at that time. As a woman, I had no sense of love for myself. I had no self-worth. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. I was aimlessly wandering, but then I heard the word. And in the minister's words, I was offered a door to access God's mind, God's spirit, God's wisdom, and most of all, God's love. So I will share a little bit of my history. It's a little different. So growing up, being a child of Haitian immigrants in the United States was really very painful and very trying. During the 1970s and the 1980s, the Haitian immigrants were very hated. They were a very hated group by the people here in the United States. We were mocked by Black people. We were despised by white people. We were ridiculed by many. So I was born here, but my mother sent me back along with my sisters to Haiti at a very early age because we were so poverty stricken. She had to struggle to make it, not only for us, but also for the rest of the family that was in Haiti. So she struggled here while we struggled in Haiti, experiencing extreme poverty. So when I came back to live in the United States as a young child, I was around 9 years old. I came back into a very hateful environment, being treated like a pariah because we were so poor, being made fun of, being ridiculed because we couldn't speak the language. And we weren't being made fun of by just children, adults were doing it. They blamed the Haitians and said we brought AIDS to the United States. They blamed the Haitians for taking jobs. So we were hated just because we were Haitians. And to a child, 9 years old, that was absolutely devastating and excruciating. Seeing the pain and the suffering of my people in Haiti, and also coming here, and I remember watching on television the pain and suffering of the Ethiopians, of Black people in Africa. So I was seeing it wasn't just us, it was Black people in general. And at 9 years old, it was very torturous to me because of my own experience, because of my own anguish, suffering as a child. So many nights, I remembered praying to God, 9 years old now, begging Allah to remove the pain and suffering that not only I was going through as a child, but also people who were suffering around the world. I cried myself to sleep many nights. So from that point, I was seeking and I was searching for God. And for me, that was a long time. And then here comes the minister. Man. So the first time I heard the minister's voice, a light of extreme brightness, literally, it was a light bulb or an explosion in my head. It came.
I'm going to stop right there. I think we've heard enough to know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan does not teach us to hate, to sow seeds of discord, to fight against Black immigrants. That's what he does not do. And here's the thing. Let me say this. Someone in the chat by the name of Naps, N-A-P-Z, after I played the clip of Brother Abel Muhammad, and he mentioned Turtle Island, the person named Naps, N-A-P-Z, Naps, do you need me to drop the link? Do you have something to say? Because you put in the chat Turtle Island with question marks. Do you not know what Turtle Island is, Naps? Turtle Island is where you are standing on right now. It is called the United States. Before it was called the United States, it was called Turtle Island. So if you don't know your history, but yet Brother Abel Muhammad does, and he's not FBA like you apparently are, you need to sit down somewhere. That's what you need to do. Sit down somewhere and learn. All right? Because you're going to learn today. That's what you're going to do. You're going to learn today. All right? And here's the thing. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's parents, say what now? His parents were Jamaicans. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's parents were Jamaicans. So he's Caribbean, of Caribbean descent, though he was born in Brooklyn. Now, here's what I want to say. For all of you calling Black immigrants tethers and all that, you sound crazy. Because here's the thing. Now, one could say, well, Bussy Reek doesn't talk about all of them. He's not talking about all of them. Oh, but he is. You see, because here's the thing. If he wants to just talk about people who are plantation mammies and pappies who are Confederate against us and who help to uphold the system of wanton supremacy, but yet they are drenched in melanin, well, he could just talk collectively about those types of people. He could talk about plantation mammies and pappies that are FBA, that some of them are immigrants, but that's not what he does. He uses a broad stroke when he speaks. Kenya says, I thought it was Barbados. No, I've been told by several Muslims that it's Jamaican. They're of Jamaican descent. But either way, my point is this. His parents were not born in this country. That's my point. So with that all being said, Terry says, or Tony Queen says, she has Bohemian ancestry. Okay, and she ain't no darn tether. Exactly. So the foolishness needs to stop. That's what needs to stop. The foolishness, the Saturday Night Live antics, okay, the jokes and the insults and all of that. Those who are against us, whether they be so-called FBA, African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, or whatever, then just don't deal with them. But don't sit there and try to deliberately, maliciously, nefariously paint a narrative to turn African Americans against other Black immigrants. And here's the thing, collectively. And here's the thing, there's an audio, and I'm going to find that audio because I can't remember where I put that receipt. But there's literally audio of Tariq O'Drama. There's audio of him being interviewed, and he said this years ago. He said that it was the plan, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said it was the plan of wanton supremacy to cause discord and division between African Americans and Black immigrants. Now, he said that himself. So I find it interesting that now he himself is doing exactly what he said was the Watson supremacist whole idea and plan. So if he's carrying out their plan, I'm going to need y'all to tell me how he's not an agent. I'm going to need y'all to tell me how he's pro-Black. I played the audio for you yesterday of him saying that he puts up the European flag in the bedroom and that he would F the shite out of Brooke Hogan, who is Hulk Hogan's daughter. I'm going to need some of y'all Nasheedians to make it all make sense, because I'm sure that you cannot. All right? I'm sure that you absolutely cannot. All right? That's what you can't do. Jack the Diva says, I don't listen to big lips, lip gloss wearing Bussy Reek, so I can't comment. Okay? Fair enough, beloved. I'm just saying the foolishness has to stop. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be fighting for reparations, fighting for liberation of not just African American people, but for all people that are oppressed. Because at the end of the day, if you get pulled over by the police and you're a Haitian, are they going to stop to make a difference, or, you know, to say, oh, well, they're Haitian. Oh, well, they're Jamaican. Oh, well, they're African American. No, they're not. They see a Black person to them. That's what they see. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's all just ridiculous, and they're not the ones that are in control. They're not the ones that are running things. They aren't the ones who rule the world. Wanton supremacy does and is. Okay, so let me move on because y'all know I want to talk about Hunter Biden. Y'all know I want to talk about Hunter Biden. So everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell. So listen to this. Biden still undecided on 2024, but says that he can beat Trump again. Biden, sit down somewhere. All right, please. Okay, now, but let's talk about also his son Hunter. So Biden sat down with CNN's Jake Tapper on Tuesday night and said that he won't be making a decision on running for re-election until after the midterms, but insisted that he would defeat former President Donald Trump if they were to face off for a second time. He says, I believe I can beat Trump. Well, there's always hope. You should believe in yourself. If you don't, hey, who will? Biden, who turns 80 next month, said that he intends on running for re-election, but polling has shown that many Democrats are looking elsewhere for a nominee, as they should. Now, when he was questioned about his son Hunter, here's what he had to say. I'm going to pull up this video, and I want you all hold on, to see this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance. Because they asked him about his son's criminal case. Hunter Biden, you going to jail, bro. Where you should be. You're going to jail, bro.
And the Washington Post reporting suggests that prosecutors think they have enough to charge your son Hunter for tax crimes and a false statement about a gun purchase. Personally and politically, how do you react to that?
Well, first of all, I'm proud of my son. This is a kid who got, not a kid, he's a grown man. He got hooked on, like many families have had happen, hooked on drugs. He's overcome that. He's established a new life. He is, I'm confident that he is, what he says and does are consistent with what happens. For example, he wrote a book about his problems and was straightforward about it. I'm proud of him. He came along and said, by the way, this thing about a gun, I didn't know anything about it, but turns out that when he made my application to purchase a gun, what happened was I guess you get asked, I don't guess, you get asked the question, are you on drugs, you use drugs? He said no. And he wrote about saying no in his book. So I have great confidence in my son. I love him, and he's on the straight and narrow, and he has been for a couple of years now. And I'm just so.
Now, I know good and darn well Biden didn't just say what I thought I heard. Say what now? He said, I'm proud of my son, and he's been on the straight and narrow for a couple of years now. A couple of years, Biden. Biden, please make it all make sense. And then he said, that his son talked about it in a book and all that. Well, he had no choice but to talk about it. And that he admitted to it. Well, he had no choice but to admit to it. It was already exposed. Once you're exposed, all you can do is admit. All you can do is fess up. They already dropped the receipts. So Biden and Hunter, sit down somewhere. Okay? And Biden, chances are you're not going to run for a re-election. Okay? Because you and your son both should be taking a long vacation. You should be taking one to Shady Pines. I've already reserved the room and paid for it. The first year's fees in advance. Got you a nice little room with a window view where you can sit there and watch the grass grow. That's what you can do. And your son's going to be on his way to San Quentin. That's where he's going to be. So sit down somewhere, Joe Biden. So moving right along. Somebody said something about that video of Hunter Biden. Honey, I played that video. Yeah, I played that video a long time ago, honey. Y'all know I keep my foot on his neck. All right? Absolutely do. Yes, he lied on the paperwork, honey. He lied on the paperwork. Yes, he absolutely did. Okay, they need to sit down somewhere talking about he's proud. Proud of what? They're proud of what? That's what I'd like to know. But so meanwhile, let's talk about this seizure that Brandy had. So Brandy had a seizure, or I'm sorry, they believe she had what they believe to be a seizure. Okay. They said she fell out. They believe that it was a seizure. I don't know how they're not sure, but they say they believe it was a seizure. But here's the thing. I find that also very interesting that Brandy just had a seizure, or so-called, or something that seemed like a seizure. I also find it very interesting that Nene Leak's son, who's about 23 years old, had a heart attack and a stroke. I find this all very interesting. I also find it even more interesting that people keep falling out, having heart attacks. I just find it all very interesting. 50 years old and younger, falling out with heart attacks. People just having seizures. I just find it all very interesting. I don't know what the cause of all this is. I don't know what the cause of all this is, but I find it all very interesting. And clearly I'm concerned, as you should also be. That's all I'm going to say about that. But let's talk about Ebola. Because you see, the NIH, right? Fauci works with them, the NIH. So NIH issues alert about possible Ebola virus outbreak in Pakistan. Well, they also said they were having some outbreaks in Uganda. So please pay attention, because I told you, anything that starts happening in other countries, it's going to start happening here sooner or later. The National Health Organization has issued an alert about possible outbreak of deadly Ebola virus in Pakistan. An advisory issued by NIH on prevention and control of Ebola virus disease said that Uganda has reported 36 cases just last month, resulting in 23 deaths. Out of 36 cases, 23 deaths. Pay attention. So that means more than half of the people that got it died. Now, the Central Health Establishment will monitor people traveling to and from Pakistan and the African country, while the suspected Ebola cases will be reported to the NIH. According to the advisory, suspected Ebola cases coming in Pakistan will be quarantined, and their samples will be sent for testing in line with the national guidelines. Now, from 2000 to 2019, Uganda has had at least 6 episodes of the outbreak, causing hundreds of deaths. The most recent outbreak of Ebola in humans has been triggered by the SUDV virus, according to the advisory. They say despite fears of Ebola spreading at regional and global levels, the World Health Organization has opposed travel and trade restrictions on Uganda. So they've put restrictions on them. I want y'all to pay attention. NIH has directed the authorities concerned to stay vigilant in this regard. The Ebola virus, which can transmit from human to human, causes an acute serious illness, which is often fatal if untreated, according to the World Health Organization. I'm going to tell y'all like this. Everyone should be very concerned. Everyone should be very concerned. If they're giving a health advisory, I find it suspicious too, Claudette, absolutely. If they're giving a health advisory and saying that Ebola, the NIH and the World Health Organization, these are the experts, right? So if they're giving an advisory about it in Uganda and also Pakistan, we should be paying attention. You see, this is why we don't have time for foolishness. This is why we have to sort out the nefarious ones amongst us, the ones who are not real and true. We have to call them out at all costs. With that all being said, we don't have time for games, people. This is spiritual warfare. There's all kinds of things being thrown at us. We're going to be in a fight for our lives. I want y'all to pay attention. This is all getting very serious. And I told you all that it was only going to get worse. I told you all about the Chinese police being here and setting up stations. Now, you all remember, you all put it in the chat. Tony Curtis was the first one to say it, that I warned you all about this a year or so ago, little over a year ago. I told you all that I dreamt that the Chinese police were here, that they were in big black tanks with red writing on them, written in Chinese, dressed all in black, and they were going from door to door in black neighborhoods. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do remember telling you all that, and you all remember me telling you all that. You know I have prophetic dreams. And so now, here we are in 2022, a year and a half later, and the police, Chinese police, are actually here. Actually here. And I remember when I told someone that dream a year and a half ago, and I'm not going to call their name, but they're in the chat. But anyway, I remember when I told someone privately about that dream a year and a half ago, they said, oh, no, China's not going to come here. They're not going to come here. Well, they're here. They're here. All right. They are here. So I want y'all to pay attention. Someone said 2.5 years later. No, I didn't say this 2.5 years ago. I said it like a year and a half ago, beloved. I said this like a year and a half ago. So with that all being said, I need y'all to pay attention. You need to be buying water every time you go to the store. You need to be buying water every time you go to the store. That's what you need to do. You need to be getting your non-perishable food items. You need to be getting your weapons and making sure they're clean so they don't jam when you need them, and that you have your ammunition to protect and defend yourself. You need first aid kits. You need flashlights and batteries. If you can't afford a generator, then do what you can do. You need to be getting your group of people together, like-minded people, so that you can barter with one another. Food shortages. When you don't have something, you need to be able to have someone you can go and trade what you have for what they have. This is what you need to be doing. You need to be paying attention to the serious things. We don't need to be sitting here arguing about who created hip hop. Because everyone with sense knows who created hip hop. Okay? It was African Americans. We know that. Now, I'm not going to say that other people didn't contribute to it with their music, but of course we created it. So there's no need for any foolish arguments about who created hip hop. Leave that alone. Okay, we don't have time for that. We don't have time to be sitting here calling people tethers. We don't have time to be spending 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, 9 and 10 hours in Twitter spaces talking about foolishness and gossiping and playing the dozens. That's why you never see the queen in Twitter spaces. I did one Twitter space, and then I saw that Twitter is nothing but a haven for gossip and Saturday Night Live entertainment. Saturday Night Live activism, skits by paid actors, whom I call agents. So with that all being said, we do not have time. Dear Reed said, Queen, you hurt my feelings. Well, I'm sorry, beloved, but the truth sometimes hurts. Pay attention. I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't love you. I wouldn't go in on certain people whom I suspect of being agents and frauds if I didn't love you. I want you to pay attention. You see, I have everything to lose in doing this and nothing to gain. What do I gain by calling out these people? These people are way bigger than me. They have much larger platforms, bigger followings and all of that. They know celebrities and all that. What do I stand to gain by calling these people out? Ask yourselves. So if I'm calling these people out at the risk of my own demise, you should be paying attention, because obviously I have a very good reason for doing so. You don't see me out here collecting donations. You don't see me out here collecting donations. My channel's not even monetized, but I don't collect donations. I'm not out here asking y'all for nothing. Right? All I'm doing is speaking truth to power. And anybody mad about that, well, you already know what you can do. And I would advise you to politely just unsubscribe and go follow someone else. Because I'm not here for the amount of subscribers that I can get. I'm here to speak truth to power. That's what I'm here for. Okay? So with that all being said, at the end of the day, you all need to start using your discernment that the Most High gave us all. We all have discernment. Some of you allow your discernment to lie dormant. Some of you sadly do. There's something called a gut feeling, a gut instinct. You know why they call it a gut instinct? You know how sometimes when you get this feeling that you shouldn't do something, or maybe you should do something, and you say, I just felt it in my gut. You know why we say that? Because you literally have a brain in your gut. That's why your intestines looks like your brain in your head. Did you not ever notice that? The Most High has given us all the tools that we need to be self-sufficient and to be wise and to have discernment and intuitive thoughts. But some of us, we don't listen to the Most High. And some of us, when the Most High sends messengers to give us the truth, we don't want to hear it because ignorance is bliss. Some people would rather be aligned with lies than to stand in truth. Y'all remember I made that quote up on a live one day, just out of nowhere? Let me tell y'all something. That's absolute facts. Okay? That's absolute facts. I would rather be standing in truth than to be aligned with lies, and you should too. You should not, no matter how. Let me tell y'all something. Let me just tell y'all something. When people say, Mr. Hotel says, Queen, we need another spiritual channel broadcast. I'm going to do a spiritual broadcast. Thank you for asking. But I won't do it on the spiritual channel. I'll do it on this channel because this channel has more subscribers and I can reach more people. The other channel, I want you to know, is monetized. This one isn't. But that's not what's important. You see, it's never about money with the Queen. It's about each one teach one, because that's how we grow and thrive. And speaking of money, Bussy Reek was on his live the other day going in on Kanye, telling Kanye, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, Kanye is about to lose his bag. And he was saying something about, don't let broke ninjas play you out your bag. That's what he said. So why is he worried about Kanye's money? Well, I'm glad you asked, because all Bussy Rick is worried about, period, is money. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about so-called FBA. It's about money. It is about money. If he was so legit, so down for his people, he would do things without having to collect donations. He's a millionaire. Y'all don't think that he could have gone and gotten a loan or whatever he needed to do to get that museum by himself? But he needed y'all to give him all that cash. And then when y'all go to it, he's going to charge you to get in. And then he's going to sell you stuff while you're in there. What has he ever done for free? What has he ever done for free? He said that for his new documentary, some of you could be listed as executive producers, but you got to pay $2,000 plus. He charges for shout outs, so I've been told. Make it all make sense. Y'all don't see a con game being ran when you see it. Y'all don't know it when you see it. You saw the video that I just showed you of the Uhuru Socialist Party, who's having a reparations march in St. Louis the 15th of this month, Saturday, right? Bussy Reek would not go to that reparations march because, for one, those people are really pro-Black in real life. Those people are revolutionaries in real life. Those people are targeted by the federal government in real life. That's why their house was raided with drones. When you're fake, what you're not going to do is stand next to those who are real, because your fakeness will shine through every time. You see, you can be fake all you want, and you can get away with your fakeness, and you can fool people who don't use their critical thinking skills. You can fool people. But when somebody real walks up in the place and stands in that space right next to you, well, real recognizes real. So the real person is going to call you out on your fakeness. And when the real person stands next to the fraud, then everybody's eyes will be awakened and the veil will fall back and the smoke and mirrors will come crashing down and people will see that you fake. When you stand next to somebody who's real. He's not going to go to that reparations march on the 15th. He's not going to go to the one on the 16th because real recognizes real, and he don't want his cover to be blown, and also because he wants all the spotlight, the clout for himself. All right? And that's just what it is. So I just need you all to start using your critical and analytical thinking skills that the Most High gave to us all. I need you to start using your gut instinct, your intuitiveness. That's what you need to start using. Stop listening to people who only tell you what sounds good and they put no action behind it. Now, he has done some things for the community, but the things that he's done have benefited him, not us. Not us. I mean, Hidden Colors, well, that was a little beneficial because it gave us some truth of history and things or whatever, although it wasn't always inaccurate. But he made money off of it. You all helped him to pay for it, and then he charged you to go to it. And everything that he has done, it has benefited him. And here's the thing. How does he sit here and talk so dirty about Black immigrants, but yet he made that movie 1804 about Haiti, and he made all that money off of it. He doesn't mind making money off of them. Pay attention. And then he sold Ogun juice and made more money off of them. Pay attention. Now, nobody can make that make sense. Nobody can make that make sense. And like I said, I don't care who gets mad, because the truth is always going to make some people mad. You see, people love lies. They hate the truth. That's why they say the truth hurts. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they say the truth hurts, because it literally does. Another thing I want to point out to you is when he talks about people hating him, hating on him, being jealous and agents and all that. Let me say this about that. I have in my possession every Hidden Color documentary. 1804, Buck Breaking, I have all that. And even though I have the DVD, I still bought 2 tickets to the premiere here in Atlanta. I took my best friend. I went to the Foundational Black American Conference. I bought a VIP ticket. Now, I didn't pay $500 for it like he was charging. I bought mine from somebody who couldn't make it, and I paid like $150. But I said all that to say this. If I was a hater, I would never have spent money with him. I would never have contributed to anything he's done. But I did. So for me to do all of that, and you all know, those of you who've been following me, you know that I had continuously shouted him out, giving him props. So all of a sudden I'm a hater because I disagree? No. You see, all of a sudden I realized the fraud. And so for those of you, like the young man that was in here today, Edwin, I believe that was his name. Shout out to Edwin. But Edwin said that me and Wig had a beef. No, there is no beef. You see, when I expose people, don't take it personal. I'm just doing what the Most High put me here to do. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm a real revolutionary. That's why my last name is Shakur. Pay attention. And at the end of the day, I've called out young Pharaoh. I never met young Pharaoh. So where's the beef? I had none. But I knew he was fraud, so I called him on it. Brother Polite, same thing. Black Lives Matter. I'm the one who exposed the money trail before anybody did, even the mainstream media. I didn't have a beef with them because I don't know Black Lives Matter, the chairperson, Patrice Concours, and all of them. But I knew they were frauds. So I called them out. So when I'm calling out people like Bussy Reek, don't think there's a beef. There is no beef. I'm just doing my job. And if you don't want me to do my job, well, that's too bad, because I'm going to do it to the death of me. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning back in. Before I go, let me have a word from my sponsors over at beautifulheartsapparels.com, where they wear their hearts on their sleeves. Pay attention.
Hearts Apparel. We wear our hearts on our sleeves for a fit that's comfortable and stylish.
Be confident. Be bold. Be you. Beautiful Hearts Apparel. Wear your heart on your sleeve.
All right. So listen. At the end of the day, Tony said, keep hurting them, Queen. Thank you, beloved. At the end of the day, like I said, the truth isn't always pleasant. It just isn't. I've shouted out Wig. I've told Wig nice things. Wig ain't never told me nothing nice. Never. Okay? I've said nice things to Wig. I've said nice things about Tariq. I've shouted him out. Neither one of them have ever shouted me out. I'm not mad. I'm just making a point. Now, if you want to call me a hater, for those of the Nasheedians that have, for those of the Wiglets that have, you should ask yourself, if I'm the hater, me, the queen, if I'm the hater, why have I called them out in the past and given them props and compliments? But they never have called me out. Pay attention. Now, who's hating on who up in this piece? If you got to lie and act like you don't know who I am when you done had a conversation with me, you done took pictures with me, if you got to lie, who's hating? Who's hating? You understand what I'm saying? And here's another thing too. Some people get angry because I call Tariq, Bussy Reek, whatever. I call him out by his name. I've called Wig out by her name. You see, but those two, they've said things about me. They just don't call my name. I know the subliminals when I hear them. When Wig says big mouth YouTuber, she's talking about me. But the thing is funny because who's got a bigger mouth than her? Banging that gavel and shouting, God, today, when she should be shouting fraud today. So I'm just saying, before you call someone a hater for speaking the truth, use your critical thinking skills that I'm sure that you have. Use those critical thinking skills and ask yourself, how come they never, not one time, have mentioned Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur's name? Oh, I know why they don't mention my name, beloveds. I absolutely know why, and so do they. All right. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my website, QueenAhmadiyyahShakur.com, so that you can be added to my email list. Make sure that you also follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page on Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow the Queen on Twitter at DGoddess27. And make sure you check out my new TikTok. Okay, there's only a couple of videos on there, but I'll be doing videos, every week. So make sure you sign up for that. You follow me on there, okay? Dr. A. Shakur, okay, on TikTok. With that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and light. I want you all to do something productive and constructive, never destructive, right? Each one teach one, because that's how we grow and thrive. Always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. And also, don't let someone lower your vibrations and have you out here turning against people who look like you. At the end of the day, you should be smarter than that. Don't sit here and be distracted by the smoke and mirrors. We don't have time for games. This is spiritual warfare. This is real warfare. Other people are on the battlefield already, prepared to do battle. So we don't have time to be on the playground. With that all being said, I love you all to life. Always remember to keep the Most High first in your life, beloveds. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke, if you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only